Hello guys, it's your boy Rish, aka Charlie, aka Rishabh. I'm back on Original Rishabh, and I'm planning to create a lot of videos. I had been planning for a while to create a lot of videos on a lot of topics, but I kept on hold on after I made the Annie video, and I had a bunch of videos that I scrapped out because I felt like it was too emotional, too aggressive, and I said I'm gonna moving forward make more planned videos. And I wanted to talk about something, and a bunch of incidents happen, and I really feel bad for who have been the victims of these kind of incidents. So yesterday's incident, French tourist being raped by an employee of a particular event that she attended in Rajasthan, Udaipur, and a person who has his heritage from Rajasthan. I'm deeply sorry and deeply ashamed that this kind of incident happened, and I there's a lot of emotions going on, of disgust, and embarrassment of this kind of incident happening in such a well established city of Udaipur. And my deepest apologies. I know these apologies don't do much of it, but from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of every Udaipur citizen's heart, it's the deepest apology, and we feel embarrassed that this kind of incident happened in the city itself. But I try my best with my channel as a medium to enlighten people, or not exactly enlighten, but like at least give people a direction on which to move and give the youth some moral lessons, I guess, in some capacity. एंड फ्रॉम माई इंडियन ऑडियंस, आपके लिए भी एक हिंदी वीडियो आने वाली है जल्दी, मतलब इसी वीडियो का हिंदी वर्जन आने वाला है, सो धैर्य रखिए, वो भी आएगा जल्दी. Anyways, moving on to back to the English version of the video. First of all, it is a very sad situation to see this kind of event happening. First, with a week ago, where a peeping tom guy was recording a female American tourist in, I think, JW Marriott Hotel in Gurgaon. Yeah, I can understand your excitement. I can understand your thrill to see a foreigner, because obviously there are a lot of people who do not get an opportunity to meet people outside their own circle or outside their own community, like outside India or like Indians. Yeah, there is variation amongst Indians in like facial features, skin color, and stuff like that. But meeting a complete outsider, I can understand your excitement, or I can understand you being attracted to someone who is female or a male or anybody. And don't be creepy. Just like, don't be creepy. Like, take permission if you want to take a picture with them or take a picture of them. Take permission. Don't be a weirdo, basically. All right. And he was not even hiding it, and it's kind of creepy and messed up, and kind of I would say destroys the image of Indians in India and Indians in general. So for that, I don't know what to say about it, but like, please behave, please, like, don't mess up our image. And it kind of also like, it shows a self-reflection of our upbringing, which is kind of fucked up and kind of fucks our family, I would say, image as well, and traces our family, extended family, and obviously Indian culture in general. So don't do that kind of stuff. We are not like this. We are Atiti Devo Bhava. Stop behaving like this. I know there's some stupid, creepy motherfuckers, but I think us Indians in total, we can stand together against these kind of creepy people and always scold them, or like stand forward in front of them. Like, we can be the pillars of hope and stop these kind of people things from happening. The second incident that happened is obviously this yesterday's incident, or like, I think a few days ago. I'm not sure when this exact incident happened, but this tourist was stopping in Delhi, and then she moved to Udaipur, where she was at an event, I think at some particular place. Let me quickly pull that news feed up in a minute. So this is from information I get from the Hindustan Times. You can go check out Hindustan Times news feed itself. So according to the incident, she was in Udaipur, and she was at an event, and she was in a Greek farm. She went there with her friends for dinner. Two female were escorting her as well. Both of them were tourists as well, and they were partying. And a bit later, a man approached to their table. He convinced her to go on a drive, where he told that he will take her to sightseeing and later drop off at her hotel. But he took her to his apartment, or booked apartment, rental apartment. She went to the house to charge her phone, and then the assaulter was forced himself on her, and then after the heinous crime, he drove her back to the hotel at 6 a.m. in the morning, Tuesday. So through yesterday, the day before yesterday. So this is like a very sad situation for us Indians, and it puts us Indians in a very bad spot where already like men us are already looked as like some kind of monsters already. I know you may be awkward like me. I'm an introvert. I'm awkward talking to any person, female, male, and like females make it even worse because it's hard to communicate with opposite gender for me as I'm a heterosexual person. So like I understand you've been awkward, you've been weird, and you can like pause when you know like you're getting into a position where you're making the other person uncomfortable. And I think like with time you learn these kind of stuff. I think I learned it pretty early, but like there are sometimes where you cannot learn these kinds of stuff because in movies or in others kind of media it's shown very differently, where you have to be a bad guy or a bad boy to get women. You can stop when the other person feels uncomfortable. Like I know you want to approach a girl, but there is no particular good guidebook how to approach women or to be like precise approach anybody in general. All these like things that you learn things from are these medias. Most of them are these comic skits, maybe these movies that you watch, Bollywood movies, and they do not really set a very good example for us, like how to approach women, because all of these are like they act like tough and these like kind sometimes creepy, sometimes weirdos, and but they're acted by handsome men and women fall for them. But in general, the public, I mean, not I'm saying everybody looks like me, but like I would say I'm on a just decent average scale. So most of the people that look like me or above, just above me, or like in the average scale, generally, they or like people that have issues like me, like I'm introvert. We have hard time talking to people. So the best thing we can do is be ourselves and also consider other people's feelings when they say no or they show signs of discomfort. We can restrain ourselves and like or try to act in a way so that they may feel comfortable. And like it's like basically setting boundaries. See, I'm not the greatest relationship expert or expert in teaching you how to talk to women or talk to people in general. I'm an introvert. I don't know how to give you a guide on how to do that kind of stuff. But I think with time and with seeing real life people, not just fucking superstars who just act like fucking jerks, you will actually learn some good stuff and communication skills. Or you can join a professional class if you want. Like to do a due diligence and like I don't know how to explain it, but like you understand what I'm saying, right? When you have to understand when you have to stop. And I think these movies don't give a good example of like how men should act in general. And these, I'm saying, like one of those, like I'm not saying like romantic scenes are bad. Like okay, you can be a little playful, little funny, but you have to understand when you're acting in a movie, it's a superficial surrounding where it's in the script it's written and it's like two personalities that are actually in love with each other. I know there are some movies that you will, when you like look it from a sense point of view, like in South Indian movies, when you can see that the guy has been forceful and later then the girl falls in love with him. That not usually happens though. Like that's actually creepy and kind of concerning, to be honest. That's actually a condition. If you want to study about it, it's called Stockholm syndrome. You can study about it, where it's like you falling in love with your bully, or you falling in love with your stalker kind of scenario. If you might have seen a series regarding it called You. But in Hindi movies also there are creepy moments as well. But like I'm saying, like when you're seeing like a pre-arranged setup, you know that the people are in love, they are doing playful stuff. But in real life scenario, you don't know the feelings of the other person, so you might be a complete weirdo when you're acting not your way. You know what I'm saying? I know, like people will debate that art is art, movie, songs and songs are songs, but like at the end of the day, most of these songs are made in the perspective so that they could grasp a large amount of male audience, and these songs are directed in such a way that they feel like the men are dominant, men can do whatever they want, kind of stuff, and that affects our youth as well. I'm not saying to ban any song, ban any movie. The movies are not entertainment purposes, and entertainment is not just laughing out loud comedy skits. It's also giving you leisure or like giving you morals as well. And I think they are not setting very good examples recently. Anyways, I'm not here to debate about movies and stuff. I'm talking about the current situation which has been rising around all across the globe. Recently, even when in west of Sydney there was a 17-year-old girl that was gang raped, and that was a heinous crime, and the criminals that did it, youngest was like 14. Can you imagine how these 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds are getting influenced by these movies, these songs, and what kind of upbringing they have been given up? Like they've been like just given their iPads and stuff like that, and not taught how to behave with women. They don't have any moral codes. Like what's going on? Or are they just not ignorant of their parents' advice and just listening to these so-called social media influencers who just wanted to act tough? Like you see these alpha males, so-called alpha male influencers like Andrew Tate, what's the iShowsP, and all these kind of hooligans. Like, and they idolize these kind of hooligans and their behavior. See, you have to understand these guys do their hooligan behavior so that they can get views and clicks. I don't think they act like this normally when they're on there. When the cameras turn on, they might act this way, but in general, I think they have some moral grounds of their own, and they might not act that way when they are when the cameras turn off or they're alone in their room. They just act the way just so that they get the clicks and the views and all these like public attention that they want. To be honest, we idolize the wrong kind of people, I think, in this society, and I think we need to learn how to behave ourselves amongst other people. And I mean, I can understand each person has their own personality and own way of style, and I guess I get it. Like I was a person who used a lot of like slurs in my younger years, and I've learned my lesson from it. Like you understand with time, like how many slurs you're using in a sentence. Is the sentence really slurs, all slurs, or is it like, does it the sentence even have a meaning? Is it directed to somebody? Does it have a reason to it? Like, don't just be abusive to anybody and everybody just because you feel like it. You need to have a purpose. You need to have a way of saying it, and it could be said in a way to show certain sentiment or emotion. So there's a way and time to use these kind of stuff, and I've learned this over these past couple of years, and I'm still growing and still learning, and with each experience I'm learning more and more. So best thing you can do is, if you hurt somebody, please apologize and learn from it, move forward. I know a lot of people might get unnecessarily sentimentally hurt because they are motivated or driven by some political or social agenda. That's a different scenario. You, in that case, you want to stand your ground. But I feel like there's certain boundaries that shouldn't be crossed, and certain, like, just don't poke people unnecessarily, right? Like the recent incident that happened with the Canadian/Indian singer, who, to be honest, I don't know much about the incident. I have not doing a detailed like investigation into the incident, but I feel like as much as I know, it's could be kind of seen as revolting. Like she dresses as like kind of like a goddess or like an Indian kind of thing, but like sexualized version of it. And I think in the cover art, I think it was the cover art or the album art, I don't know. But like she had a cross stuck to her ass, and one of the music song singles, the video, she's licking the cross of Jesus Christ, which I feel is kind of like both things scenarios are disrespectful to Christianity and Hinduism. Like they're insulting both religions. Or this blue paint thing, I mean, I'm not saying like you cannot become an avatar, you cannot do blue paint to your face or something like that. Blue paint doesn't symbolize Hinduism, but it was particularly crafted or created. It's like the same version of how people who perform the idol dance or like do theatrical plays of idols in Hindu religion, like putting the blue paint plus the red lipstick, of how they portray goddesses, that god or goddesses that have darker skin, they put blue instead of black, and that's how they, like Durga and other gods that are darker in skin color, are portrayed. And I feel like she wanted to instigate that. I'm not sure what her vision was, to be honest. Song is also called Blue People or Blue Mind, something like that. So they made fun of Ma Durga, and me as a person who resides in Kolkata, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful. And like she's not only like she did some like licking the cross and something as well. I don't know much about the incident, but I think it's better the artist comes out and makes things clear of how like she's not portraying the god, or like just give a statement instant, just not stay silent and like she thinks that crowd's gonna die or something like that. Many big rappers, even, or I think Raftar has talked about it, not sure other artists comments about it till date, but let's see how the issue goes in forward. Like you don't feel like this particular ritual that is particular, like a certain ritual or certain thing that like a superstition that's been passed on, that is not something related to God, that is not something related to religion, and it's just been pushed onto a religion. You can criticize it, go for it, and like the song didn't have any context to it. Person, like as a individual, you want to, as a creator, you want to be careful of something like like when you're offending somebody, or where you're like creating something that is feeling targeted. See, you can target somebody if someone if you feel like it has a moral ground to it. You cannot just target randomly out of nowhere. Like you cannot just should not target like Christianity out of nowhere just because you feel like it. You have a moral ground. You feel like some things are fucked up, some things have been going wrong. You can speak about it in a formulative way. Well, I can understand that her songs are hypersexual, as she has mentioned in her like bio, and most of, as you have like, if you see her catalog of songs. I'm not gonna name the artist because I don't want the hate to be driven towards her. I understand she has done a mistake, and a lot of people already have tweeted about it, reported the video, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But only thing, one message I would like to give to all the people is that don't give death threats or rape threats. You can criticize the person, you can abuse the person, but giving death threats and rape threats, you're just going on the same dark sin level as her. Like, if she's criticizing and abusing God, and you're abusing and criticizing, if you're abusing her or like giving rape threats and death threats, you're going in the same sin level as her. You should not fall just because of other people. You should have a moral sense of ground. You should have some sanity, and you should understand the situation and act accordingly, and behave like human beings, not go crazy. I used to go crazy, and with time I realized that going crazy has consequences. Sometimes you have to say stuff that you don't mean to say, stuff like, you get my point, right? You might have seen rappers like Krishna, or rappers like, what's the other rapper's name? See them all, maybe, like, and these kind of rappers, they use slurs in their songs. They use abusive words. They use statements and stuff like that. But they formulate their raps in such a way that it doesn't feel like it's been targeted towards a community or something like that. Yeah, they might target a particular person whom they feel who's doing wrongdoings over there, but they are not targeting community, they are not targeting religions, they're not targeting stuff, and they're still been the one of the most successful Indian rappers, I think. So you can be successful and not just hate just for clicks and few views, you know what I'm saying? You can do much better than that. I've learned my lessons. I used to make hate videos just for attention. It was a base model for, like, I wanted to give a message, but I feel like I used the aggressive method more because I felt like it would get more clicks, so it would get more attention. People would understand it more. But over the time, I feel like I understand how human psychology works. I think I'm in a better state where I can explain stuff to y'all. Anyways, I know I'm doing too much yapping, but please, to all my Indian friends and to everybody around the globe, please don't harass people, and please know boundaries, respect boundaries, and take care, stay safe, and let the other people around you feel safe as well. And peace out, ladies and gentlemen.